APBA Offshore World Championships. It's Key West, Florida. There you see Mike Tomlinson as he watches out on the course. He knows this is a big race.
The World Championship, of course, is, as it implies, a World Championship. The race is open to anyone that wants to come run with us as long as they have pre-qualified. This year there was a one-race requirement for all classes except Super Cat and Super V. That meant that you had to have run in an APBA or UIM equivalent class of APBA at least one event before this race. APBA is the oldest and the only organization in the United States that is allowed to legally offer a world championship race as sanctioned by UIM, which is the world authority, Union International Moto Nautique. They are the world authority for boat racing, and APBA is the only licensed agent of UIM in the United States. So we feel like that we offer the only true world championship title.
Well, the pace boat has been released. There you see it with the yellow flag, and we have our V-bottoms coming out onto the course right now. Martin, this is going to be a mixture of classes this first race.
Yep, we have our Super V lights and the Super Vs. So you've got the big boys and their little brothers out there running in single and twin engine configurations. Here we're on board the Instigator. These guys expect to be spoilers. They're coming down to give Nick Carter a run for their money. And here we are on board the Nick Carter race with Lee Murray and Steve Oropeza.
And of course, these two guys are from Key West, Florida. Nick Carter now based a little further north on the Keys, up around Marathon, but they consider this a hometown entry and a hometown race, so nothing better than to take it right where folks know you. And there's the green flag, so we have a start, and we're back on board. Nick Carter Racing. You can see they're trying to establish themselves in clean water. They want to take it right off of the start. That's the boat off to the right of your screen. Now you look to the left, and you can see the wake from the Nick Carter Racing team.
Instigator right on his tail. The last time these two boats squared off, it was the other way around, with Instigator taking the lead, Joe Skro and Peter Marr. And here we go back on board with Nick Carter Racing. They are in the lead. They started off where they wanted. They had the inside line, and they have made the first left-hand turn.
And the water so far very, very good here in Key West. Instigator may have to go across a wake, and he does. He goes across the wake, trying to get to the inside. But you can see that Steve Oropeza was directing that Nick Carter Racing team tight to the inside.
Look at the Super V light race right here. We have the Lucas Oil boat on the outside. It's Utz Quality Food on the inside. Utz has the better line for the turn as they come in on board Utz Quality Foods.
Mitch Miller and Matt Rice driving a great race, but on the outside of them, Lucas Oil. That's the boat in the center, the red boat. And whoa, he gets a little bit loose on the water out there. He took a pretty hard bounce as all of a sudden, Martin, the boat's cutting in.
Look at him. He is cutting across the fleet right now. You know, this is a repeat of what we saw about 3 years ago in Key West with this same boat cutting across the fleet. He has gone all the way across the fleet and is back to the inside in a left-hand turn.
A left-hand turn unexpectedly, I might add. So he may have had a problem aboard that boat. We'll try to find out. Meanwhile, we're back inside the cockpits of a big battle. The Nick Carter Racing team is leading. This team, Instigator, is second. There you see Nick Carter Racing. Talk about textbook perfect. There it is.
Both those boats coming in very well. Here we're back on board Nick Carter Racing as he comes in to make the U-turn inside the harbor. Very challenging in a V-bottom, especially at the speeds they're running. And right on his tail, though, you have Instigator with Joe Skro and Peter Marr. These are both identical boats. They're 40-foot fountains out there duking it out for the lead.
And you can see how Instigator's trying to get to the inside of the wake of the Nick Carter Racing team and try to get up there close enough that Nick Carter will be forced to the outside. But Instigator just hasn't had the speed on the turn to be able to get up in there. Nick Carter Racing is held tight on the buoys. That has kept the other boat, Instigator, on the outside.
Here we have Media Master on the outside. He's tied up back with the Super V lights as they're making their way through the turn. We're back on board Mitch Miller and Matt Rice in the Utz Quality Foods boat as they make their way through the harbor. Now in first place in Super V Light Twin, but right on their tail, they have the Pier 57 stainless marine boat.
And they have got to have a lot of thanks going upstairs because this water is absolutely great. I know the V-bottoms might like it a little bit rougher. There you see Media Master trying to move up in the field, but Utz Quality Foods Castaways, they are just doing a fabulous job. The boat is operating beautifully for them, so Mitch Miller and Matt Rice are in command.
Here comes our leader right now in the Super V Light single category, Kava Kava, Team Vortec Extreme. But right on the inside, look at Fury. He took a much better line on the inside. He made up a little bit of distance on that turn, Dick.
Well, Steve Miklos tried to hold that Kava Kava in there, took it to the outside, knew apparently what he was doing, even though Fury was coming up on the inside. Fury still holding very strong on there, and again, the same kind of strategy playing into that race, and the fans are loving it, the competition. solid all the way. We've got a lot more action coming up from Key West. We'll be right back.
Here we're looking at Nick Carter Racing. He is currently in the lead right now, being followed by Instigator. Look at him hopping through the water here. This boat transitioning very well. Got a little bit lumpy of a ride. It really isn't as rough as it normally is in Key West, but they are definitely having to work on this shorter course with a lot more turns.
And I noticed they're keeping the boat very high in the front, and they're keeping that back end very, very light.
You know, and that's exactly the opposite of the way a V-bottom likes to run, especially these fountains. They like to run flat. Look at him coming into the harbor here. Oh, he gets a little bit sideways. He's bouncing his boat, but that is notoriously one of the roughest parts of the course, where it transitions from being outside of the harbor to being inside of the harbor as Nick Carter Racing comes in the lead, but a little bit bouncy as he does.
Well, once again, we stress these are hometown guys. Both Steve Oropeza and Lee Murray are hometown in Key West, Florida. If anybody would know this order, they certainly would, but look at the margin that they have opened up on second place.
They have absolutely opened it up, and you know, another neat battle, aside from having identical boats out there, both of these boats are being powered by the Mercury power packages, both of them running Mercury Super V engines. Here comes your leader right now in Super V Light Single, Team Kava Kava Vortec Extreme, with Steve Miklos and Gary DeSoucy's running that boat beautifully as it goes through the transition. Look at how smooth and how flat that boat runs through right there in the lead in Super V Light Single.
Certainly a Chamber of Commerce type of day in Key West, Florida, as we look at Fury go by in second place. Want to say thanks to Carnival Cruise Lines, also the Hilton Resort Key West, the U.S. Coast Guard, who have been very instrumental in this race, the city and people of Key West, who have just been great. I'm telling you, they are out on the course, they are everywhere, and a tremendous crowd. Thank you, Key West.
Here we had a chance to see High Noon Racing go by, followed by PokerRuns.com, and here comes your leader in Super V Light Twin, Utz Quality Foods, getting ready to catch up to the singles. Matt Rice and Mitch Miller currently in the lead. Have definitely opened up a little bit more of a margin on Pier 57 Stainless, Dick.
They have, and I have to say, this has been a great team. Mitch Miller and Matt Rice got together, used to compete against each other, got together in the cockpit this year, and they have done just great. There is the Rodriguez group, number 96 going by. This is our international entry. These guys are actually from France, first year racing in America, and they are loving it.
Now here comes a brand new boat right here. This is a brand new 40-foot skater coming across. He's actually running provisionally a Super V, but the boat is configured as a Super V Light. He is running in fourth place right now in the Super V category, would be running in fourth place in Super V Light also if that's the class he was in. But here comes Utz Quality Foods as they make their way through the U-turn, back out of the harbor. Here comes the second place boat. Look at them hopping as they get across the wake of one of the bat boats. This is Pier 57 Stainless Marine. They're running in second place. Another fountain. They are a 40-foot boat, but they have number 5 Speedmaster drives on it. It's a little bit harder to run this boat as fast as the Utz Quality Foods boat with the Bravos.
Well, as we said, there are several classes of boats that are racing out here. Here are the Super Cat Triples. Flowmaster right at the moment is trying to hold on to that lead. These guys out of St. Petersburg, Florida, they have really been dominant on the circuit.
But they're coming on strong.
Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up, keep it up.
A little of inside the cockpit type of communication as they come past the main viewing area in Key West.
Shut it down.
They're
Shut it down,
inside of
shut
us.
it down.
They're inside of us.
Who is?
Donovan and them.
Shutting it down. They're trying to take it very tight on the buoys, so the other boats in second place does not have an opportunity to come up on the inside.
But they did come up on the inside. They were being courteous and giving them a lane, but coming up on the inside, High Risk has gotten ahead of them. They are just a little bit ahead. There you see as they come out of the harbor, High Risk has moved into the lead.
So Todd Werner and John Engel out of St. Pete, Florida, now in second place in the number 12 Flowmaster boat, riding on the outside of the wake of High Risk. High Risk being driven by John Vanderstel. Kirk Dudeman is on the throttles of that boat, and they are in the lead. It's the APBA Offshore World Championships presented by GMC from Key West, Florida. We're back with checkered flags right after this. It's the APBA Offshore Pro Racing Series presented by Mercury Racing, where the race never stops, and it certainly hasn't in the Super Cat Triple. Look at this. Flowmaster has taken the lead once again. So Flowmaster out of St. Petersburg, Florida, has High Risk playing second fiddle for the moment. But they've got to be careful in the turn.
Okay, they own the turn.
Yeah, they own the turn.
They own the turn. That means that they are inside enough that the boat on the outside, Flowmaster, cannot cut in, and you can see why now. They would have an accident if they did. High risk, trying to come up on the inside, has just a slight lead into the turn, but the boat on the outside has
Go,
speed.
go, 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 go. Give me something. Go, 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 go. Trim it up. Let's go. Keep going. He has no clue where we are now.
Boy, that is a race to see. High risk now, still in the lead, but there is still time in this race. That means that Flowmaster still has an opportunity to make another move. Maybe. We'll see if High Risk can hold them off.
Let it eat.
Meanwhile, we have a finish just about to happen. The Utz Quality Foods Castaway boat is trying to hold on to get the checkered flag that you see flying right there. Mitch Miller and Matt Rice have had a nearly textbook perfect race.
Look at how beautifully that boat runs as it comes into the harbor right here to capture the checkered flag for their victory.
Good job, buddy. Good job. All right, clear on the inside.
Little congratulations going back and forth between Matt Rice and Mitch Miller. Here you see Gary DeSoucies and Steve Miklos and Kava Kava. They are going to take the win in the Super V Light Single. Again, a great ride for that boat.
And coming across in second place is Team Fury. The Delaney's are side by side with Rick Trammell and Bill McComb in the Pier 57 Stainless Marine. This is a twin engine against a single engine boat as they come across. Both of these boats coming across for second place finishes in the first round of the World Championships.
So some congratulations going back and forth.
As we watch the leader in Super V come across, Nick Carter Racing. They have run flawlessly all afternoon. They are in the lead right now, coming back into the harbor in Super V.
So Nick Carter's team, there you see them raising a fist high. That's Lee Murray and Steve Oraposa. They are both from Key West, Florida. This is truly a hometown entry, and they are taking the hometown win. And a lot of fans along the shoreline are accepted. I'll tell you, that shine walk kind of looked like they were waving at the fans who were waving right back at them. But a great job of driving by the team in the Nick Carter Racing boat.
Look at the lead that he's opened up over Instigator. Instigator coming across right now. They will take a second place in the first round of the World Championships. Now keep in mind, this is a best of two series, so the points are going to get totaled up, and if there's a tie in points, is determined by the distance they ran as the second place tiebreaker, and then of course by the time. So it's very important they close that gap as best they can.
Stay up there. Remember,
as we go back on board Flowmaster right now, you can see he is trying to chase down High Risk. High Risk is on the inside coming into the turn right now. Flowmaster's carrying the speed. It looks like he might get him on this turn, Dick.
They are fighting hard to hold on to it.
Beautiful. Hang it out.
Hang it out they did, and Flowmaster now, if they hold on to it, can get a checkered flag. They are trying hard to get every ounce of energy out of those engines. They're looking for horsepower. It looks like they are going to take the checkered flag. All right, they're waving in the cockpit.
Okay. We're done. That was a start finish. You're the man.
Well, Happiness in first place, and I'm sure Happiness in second place as Rick Felson's boat comes in, the High Risk. They are in second place, and again, as Martin said, you got to total two races together, so they got another shot at those guys. Critical Lift is now coming in third place. They had a very good run with only two outboards on the back of that boat. Let's take a look at our results. There for the Super V, Nick Carter Racing in first, Instigator second, Media Master in third. There's your results for the Super V Light Twins. Good competition. There's the Super V Light Singles, Vortec Extreme Kava Kava taking that one. And the Super Cat Light Outboard Triple went to Flowmaster out of St. Pete, Florida to issue the challenge, and he will as hard and fast as they can. We go on board Hidden Agenda. This is the boat out of Houston, Texas. Jamin Jones and Chris Carmody. They are now sitting in lane number 4, right on the long side, Tommy Bahama. And there you can see Cat Can Do is the boat on the extreme inside. As we look off the back end of Drambuie on ice, you can see the WHM Motorsports, another one you're going to have to keep an eye on, off to the left side of their boat as you look back. Now, as we get ready for the green flag, you can see what happens on these starts. Now, remember, they're all going to be going for turn number 1.
Oh, he's just absolutely getting hosed down in Hidden Agenda. Airborne Express just hosing down Hidden Agenda as they make their way up to the left-hand turn on the outside edge of the race course.
There you can see the setup that was happening out there. Now Cat Can Do is in a battle to Santa Chevrolet on the far outside. WHM Motorsports in between. Cat Can Do on the inside. Look at WHM Motorsports taking water over the windshield.
There we watched WHM Motorsport just slam the door on Tommy Bahaman. You see him looking out the window right now trying to chase down the boats in front of him. And we're getting ready to go to our leader, Dram Buoy on Ice. Look at them hang that boat out right there.
Hugh Fuller and Johnny Tomlinson, two of the best in their field, and they challenge the best when they get into this Super Cat racing. There you can see them flying that boat very lightly. They've got to really keep control of that boat. They don't want that nose going down too far when they get airborne, but they are very confident in what that boat will do. They changed boats partway through the season. This is the newer of the boats, and this boat has a totally different feel to it than the boat they had before. It's a lot tighter. It's an actual MTI design, which is a design built especially for Super Cat racing.
That's the boat that they set the world record in last year as we watched the Santa Chevrolet coming alongside WHM Motorsports as they come through the harbor. WHM Motorsports, great rough water runners. These guys are known for running in the rough, and they're doing fantastic in this smooth water here as they make their way past the Santa Chevrolet on the inside. They have the inside line coming into the turn. Let's see how they square this turn off.
Right there, they get the buoy and they just come alongside and cause a little breeze to cause some motion. Meanwhile, the leader, Dram Buoy on Ice, the US one, Johnny Tomlinson and Hugh Fuller. More Super Cat racing coming up. Stay with us. West Florida, Dick Trippett along with Martin Sanborn as we look out and see In Motion again, leading in the Super Cat lights, followed by Liquid Metal in second, and How Sweet It Is, John Peterson and crew in third place.
But third place has a battle right now with Slug Hefner and Dirty Duck right on his side with the Liquid Metal boat in between. These are the factory catamarans.
The boat in the inside, the red boat with white trim, is How Sweet It Is. They are in third place being challenged by the white boat Dirty Duck, but look at this. Both of them are coming up on Liquid Metal. Bob Teague is trying to push those throttles of Liquid Metal all the way down. He's a veteran racer. He knows how to do it, but How Sweet It Is continues to close. You can assume also that Dirty Duck is coming up on him, likewise on the outside, but look at How Sweet It Is.
What a battle we have right here with How Sweet It Is chasing down Liquid Metal. Now, we've had a change of crews in this boat. John Peterson owns the boat with Brent Leach, but Brent Leach is driving and throttling this boat today with Brandy Leach aboard because John Peterson is in the big Super Cat. How Sweet It Is. Look at this Eliminator chasing down this skater. You've got the battle of manufacturers between Skater and Eliminator, both West Coast teams, East and West Coast manufacturers.
And there you see the US one, Dram Buoy on Ice, John Tomlinson and Hugh Fuller. They are holding on to the lead in the Super Cats. Here's Cat Can Do coming through. They have got a tight battle going. WHM Motorsports now in second place. Cat Can Do is on the challenge on the inside. Cat Can Do trying to move up, but WHM concentrating on the boat ahead of them. That is Dram Buoy on Ice. Now you can see in the canopy, they don't have a very clear view. They keep getting a lot of rooster tail. They're coming up on the Super Cat light boat and passing them up. This is a Super Cat, WHM Motorsports number 5. They are in second place and trying to challenge for the lead. Dram Buoy on Ice is your leader. Look at how he goes across all of the wakes to try to get tight.
Oh, he tagged the buoy. He actually picked up the buoy. That's, you know, that last time we went to the harbor, he got a little close. This time, look at it again as he go by. He spears the buoy, puts it right over the top of the sponson. You know what that means? That means he's running this lap for free.
And I don't think he's got much of an appeal on that.
No.
It's still there.
There it is. Oh, that is terrible. You know, it's one thing to cut the turn close. You always want to try to get as close as you can. He's going to carry that buoy around as a symbol. There's no doubt that anybody can say who got the buoy on that turn.
So it is now In Motion again in first place. How Sweet It Is in second. And Zip Express has now moved into third. Now Zip Express was back in the pack, so they are picking them off. Here's your leader in the Super Cats one more time. Drambuie on ice, coming down and around the turns. Boy, he has got that boat going. By he, I mean Johnny Tomlinson, who's balancing the boat with the throttles, and Hugh Fuller, who's got a good drive. There you see WHM Motorsports, but unfortunately they also are carrying the buoy. It has finally blown off, but it was out there for everybody to see, so they'll get a lap penalty, unfortunately. So the field has lapped that boat. Team Virgin has now moved up into second place officially. WHM Motorsports penalized 1 minute, basically down a lap on the rest of the field. US 1 is your leader, followed by Team Virgin. So Hugh Fuller and John Tomlinson now coming in across the line. They're going to get the checkered flag. They are the winners in Super Cats.
And here comes your second place boat on the race course, WHM Motorsports, but they are going to get a penalty for hitting that buoy. That's going to move them down to fourth place. Look at the battle we have happening right here with Airborne Express on the inside. On the outside, Team Virgin, these guys are battling it out for third and fourth, which is ultimately going to become second and third as they come across. Airborne Express has got it by a boat length as Team Virgin closes at the end, but it's not going to be enough. Airborne Express is going to take the official second place finish, and third place is going to go to Team Virgin. Fourth place coming across, Hidden Agenda with Chris Carmody and Jamin Jones.
Wow, the Super Cats finishing very tight here in Key West, Florida. Here's in motion again, Joey Gratton and Jerry Sorrentino as they take the win in Super Cat lights. They led from the green flag forward. Second place in the Super Cat lights will go to How Sweet It Is. And that's quite an accomplishment with the guy driving and throttling on this course. Zip Express now comes in third place, and they deserve a lot of credit.
You know, those guys were spoilers last year. Neil Wobie and Dan Francis run that boat very well. As we look at our final results on the first day of racing here in Key West, Florida for Super Cat, Drambuie on ice, no surprise there. They were the favorites going into it. One of the surprises, a couple of boats that dropped off we expected to see at the front of the pack that didn't make it in there. Onto the Super Cat light inboards, in motion again. Those guys have run so well all year long, taking first place here in the first round of the World Championships in Key West.
In motion again, taking home the win today. Perhaps the most consistent team out there. You guys went 1-1-1 across the board, but everybody else was kind of jumping around behind you.
And we figured we got to get a good hole shot. We did it, and shoot, we ran awesome. Jerry's awesome. Let me tell you something. We were out there in the back. We had about an 18-second lead because that first day you want to get as big as lead as you can. And WHM plowed over the buoy out there. We lost 12 seconds trying to find where to turn that out there. We got back around. We ended up only 6 seconds ahead. And we're going, oh, God, here we go again. So now we settled back in and ended up real well. So we're excited. Got one more day left. We got to pull this one off.
We see this buoy flapping on the front of your boat. What happened?
I don't know. You talk about embarrassing. 23 years of boat racing. My whole life, I never hit one of them buoys. So I guess I wind up with the buoy award. You know what? We don't win the world, so we'll get the buoy award.
You know, In Motion said right after you did it, they didn't realize, and they went about a mile over the course. So they lost like 10 seconds, but they were out in the lead, so it didn't matter. But they were laughing. They couldn't believe it.
You know what? When that happens, I mean, I've been down this road before where it's happened to us, and we were a little bit off course. And I would apologize to every one of those guys if I sent them where I shouldn't have. But you know what? You're going into the sun. We're coming up on approach. I think it was Cat Can Do. I think it Bank Beaters, one of the Super Cat Light guys. He was on the inside. I was a little bit to the outside. I started to make my approach. As I'm looking, I lose track of the pin. Now the boat leaves that area, and now I see the pin. So it was a matter of wrenching the wheel, roll the boat, hit the pin. I guess we're hitting the pin. So I guess I own the pin, and I own the buoy award.
You take home a trophy, even if you don't finish in the top. You know, at least you get a buoy.
I take home the buoy trophy. That's what, I guess right now I'll be, these guys are going to definitely make me with that buoy. I can see it. Hugh Fuller is going to have a field day.
Thanks to Discover Air for being the official airlines of the APBA Offshore World Championships. We want to say thanks for joining us because it's been a great day. As you can see, a good crowd gathered here in Key West, enjoyed some great racing. And we want to say thanks to Snap-on Tools, official sponsor of APBA Offshore and Factory 2 Racing. From Key West, Florida, round one, I'm Dick Crippen for Martin Sanborn. So long.